This.
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Entrepreneur Ecosystem Coffee Break on this beautiful June 24th, 2021, a beautiful sunny day. Thank you so much for joining us. For those who may not know me, as we do have a few folks new to our session this month, my name is Carol Spicer, and I'm the owner of Spicer Facilitation and Learning, and I'm joining you from the beautiful ancestral lands of the Beothuk, currently known as Pasadena. Also like to take a moment to recognize the Indigenous peoples in our province, the Innu and the Inuit and the Mi'kmaq, and recognizing that this has been an exciting week. It's been National Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday, and I know there's been a lot of celebrations throughout the week.
Just a moment.
It's the Saint Jean de Baptiste Day, so our Francophone community folks at Rede TNL send their regrets because they got today off instead of the June holiday on Monday. It's the last day of school. It's summer solstice this week and the first day of summer. So it's been a fantastic week. So I think it's really an exciting time. So hello, bonjour à tous, kwe, and welcome everyone for joining us today. I'm here with Allison Rowe, who is the manager at Navigate Small Business. And I thank Allison for always providing this opportunity for us to bring together folks in the entrepreneur ecosystem, which was proven to be a success when entrepreneurs talk to one another. And today's session is about bringing you folks together, but also today is about show me the money. So we have a number of people that are joining us today to talk briefly about their programs. I do encourage you at any point, you'll see in chat, folks are adding in their contact information, please do so. So if you have social media you'd like people to follow, just your email, phone number, whatever you wish, it's up to you. Please do that in chat. We do send up a email following the session to everyone that's registered, and it's a way for you to promote your business or to promote your organization. So with that, Allison, I'm going to turn to you to do our little introduction and on Navigate.
Okay, sorry, I was just responding to someone who messaged me there. Okay. All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us here today, especially, taking time out on this very busy day, as Carol just mentioned, and a sunny day besides. We do have a number of new faces here today, so I'm going to just give you a brief introduction to Navigate. So my name is Allison Rowe, and I'm the manager of Navigate. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the program, Navigate is a partnership between College of the North Atlantic Corner Brook campus and Grenfell campus here in Corner Brook. And we help entrepreneurs, and that's new entrepreneurs, students, existing entrepreneurs, from the early startup stages with business planning and ideation. We also help with prototype and product development, and we help with commercialization and implementation and launch of your business, and we help with growth strategies for businesses that are existing and want to pivot or grow. And we do that through our 3 service pillars. We have the Entrepreneurship Center, which is located at CNA and Grenfell campus, and that's for the really early stage startup. We have a maker space, and that's the space where we help out with the prototype and product development piece, and that's located at Grenfell campus. And we have a business incubator with 3 resident offices and a co-working space where we help businesses take their business to the next level, and that's located at CNA. And I should mention that there's a new Center for Research and Innovation that's currently being renovated and upgraded. It's for those of you from Corner Brook who are familiar with it, it's the old HR building down in front of the mill, the big old white building there. It's about to get a radical facelift, and it's going to be the new Center for Research and Innovation, so the maker space, and some of the business incubator services are going to be moving down there, hopefully as of January 2022, depending on all the renovations. So stay tuned for that.
Excellent, and maybe parking won't be as much of an issue. All right, so let's kick it off to show me the money, our discussion for today. Again, for those that just have popped in, feel free to add your contact information over in chat. so that we can include your information in our follow-up email to those that have attended and everyone that has registered as well. So today we're going to look at what are some types of available funding. We're going to give you an opportunity to hear from funding providers and support agencies. I can tell you from personal experience, the funding is great. Yes, absolutely, we all need that. But sometimes it's that emotional support and that guidance and that knowledge that's also as crucial. So we do have some folks on that provide those support services as well. And so this is some of the types of money that's out there. Certainly, money that you may put up front. Those that love you may be willing to give you some money. There's grants, there's angel investors, venture capital, and loans. So I do want to give those that have agreed to join us today an opportunity to introduce themselves and to talk very, very brief, high level about what types of funding that they can provide or support that they can provide.
And Carol and Allison asked me to do a presentation on our funding programs, what we have available. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, that part's good.
All right, you can't see me, but you can hear me. That's probably a good thing. Anyway, I did send the link to our funding programs in the chat a few minutes ago, which is gov.nl.ca/IET/funding. And before I go any further, I'll introduce myself. I'm Sheila Coleman. I've been with industry, energy, and technology for some time. I've seen quite a few names. I've been through quite a few names for our department, so I won't go through the history of those. But we initially started out back many moons ago as Enterprise Newfoundland Labrador. I know I'm dating myself, but anyway, this just to let you know how long I've been around. I've been in different roles over the years, and now I'm the regional planner, economic and business development officer for Western Newfoundland, along with a few more economic development officers. And for our region, I'll just point them out to you because I noted that you guys are all from different regions. Mm-hmm. In Port aux Basques, we have Bruce Billard. In Stephenville, we have Sam Morgan. In Corner Brook, myself, and I cover off Deer Lake, and so does Paula Butt as well. We also have Brent Decker. And then on the Northern Peninsula, as of now, we have Denise White, who is on leave, and we have Lynn Way and Glenda Noble. And over in Grand Falls, we have Miranda Maddox. Anyway, I'll do a brief overview of our funding programs, and our division is called Regional Economic Development. The first program I'll mention to you is called Community Capacity Building, and it's non-repayable, and it's for both the private and nonprofit organizations. It can be used for municipalities, can use it, educational institutions or any nonprofit organizations where you or profit where you want to build your skills development, or if you want to do a board or governance. We also have different modules for if you want to do strategic planning, and all of this you can find on our website. If not, reach out to one of our development officers. And for regional planning, we can do up to $5,000 a year, and for provincial planning, we can do up to $10,000 a year. And this funding covers your facilitator, if you require to have lunches or snacks or whatever, that's covered as well, and the venue, the rental of the venue. The next one that we have is for industry. It's our business development support program. This is a marketing program, and the purpose of it is to increase productivity and to for export and import market. It's also used for marketing as well, for promotion. If you want to enhance your website or build a new website if you don't have one, increase your presence on social media. It can also be used for skills development as well and training. Previously, prior to COVID, this program was 50%. We would contribute 50% and the client would have to contribute 50%. Until June the 30th, because we haven't heard otherwise, the 50% had changed last summer, and we increased the client's portion to 75. Increased our portion 75% and the client 25%. We've had really good take up on it. If any of you, I know today is June 24th, but if any of you or you know anybody who's planning on doing some marketing, go to the link that I put in the chat, print off or fill in the fillable application and get it into us as soon as you can, and then the proposal can follow after, because that way you will get the 75%. I don't know if it's going to be extended or not. I inquired yesterday. I still haven't got an answer, so I'm not quite sure what they're planning to do there. But I think that's the best thing for you to do, is to try to, if you're thinking about doing any marketing, just put in an estimate dollar amount on the application and send it to the respectful EDO in your area. The other program we have is term financing, which is repayable. And we have an interest rate of 2.45%. And this financing is used to improve your capital base of your business. It's to complement the other lenders, such as the charter banks and BDC. It's also can be used to help you leverage funding as well. But the key here is that it has to improve your capital base of your operation. And our terms are flexible for repayment. Other than that, that's it. I don't have any questions.
Okay, excellent. So when we get our breakouts going, we'll get folks an opportunity to ask you some more detailed questions if they need to.
Sure.
And I know, Sheila, you may need to drop off.
Actually, Carol, that has changed. I can stay now for the whole session.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry about that, guys.
Excellent. All right. Steve, you're up next. I want to say a quick hello and give a brief overview of who you are.
Great. Thanks, Carol. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay.
Yep.
Good morning, everyone. Great to be speaking with you from St. John's. My name is Steve Kavanagh. I'm an innovation advisor with Innovation Canada. I come under Innovation Science and Economic Development Canada, ISET, the department is known. My role is not necessarily to provide any program funding per se, but it's to work with companies to kind of navigate what's out there in terms of program funding. So basically to kind of help kind of pathfind to what the different programs might be that your company could be eligible for, whether it be a big program like an ACOA or an NRC IRAP, or even just some small kind of student internship programs as well. So anything, the full gamut is what I kind of help with. One of the things that I did put in the chat there was actually our link to the what we call the Business Benefits Finder. So this is a platform that Innovation Canada has, and you can go there and basically put in some criteria about your company, what type of funding you may be looking for, where you're located, and so on. And basically that'll come as a story, we call it a story, that will kind of suggest a number of different types of programs, whether it be provincial or federal, that may be applicable to what you may be doing or looking for. It gives a little bit of an overview of the program on the site, and then if you want to kind of go get further details, there's a link to the actual program web pages as well. So really, really great tool that I do suggest people who are looking at government funding. It's a great place to start. Certainly, kind of do some research on your own, and then if there's any questions you may have, certainly feel free to reach out to me, and we can kind of do a little bit of a deeper dive, just in terms of relevance, eligibility, stage of company where you are, and things of that nature, just to see if it's actually a fit that it'd be worth kind of proceeding with it. Just in terms of funding that Innovation Canada does have, there is a program that may be of interest to some companies. We do have a very large program called the Strategic Innovation Fund, which is probably not applicable to really anyone on the call here. This is where the minimum ask is about $10 million from the government at about a 30% contribution. So if you've got a $30 million project that you're looking to do, maybe the Strategic Innovation Fund is for you. But one program to be aware of is something called Innovative Solutions Canada. And it's a program where basically the government kind of puts out different challenges. A lot of them are technical, but some of them are a little broader based as well, from a kind of a social aspect and things of that nature. So they're looking for solutions to challenges that they're kind of trying to address kind of going forward. So definitely, you know, one of the things that you may want to look at is Innovative Solutions Canada. You can register. So when you go to that site and you register, you'll be updated to all the challenges as they come out. Like I said, most of them are technical in nature, but there could be some further ones beyond technical ones that could be of interest to a broader audience as well. Under that Innovative Solutions Canada, there's also something which used to be called the Build in Canada Innovation Program, BCIP. A lot of companies in Newfoundland and Labrador certainly did avail of it and were quite successful with it. This is where if you have a product that you haven't quite commercialized yet, so you can't have any sales, but if you're ready to sell it to the market and you want to look at, you know, the Government of Canada as a tester, kind of like a first sale really, this is a great program. And it's now called the Innovative Solutions Canada Testing Program. So once again, under that ISC, now you should register for that program as well. So there's two separate streams under ISC, one the challenges and the testing stream. So definitely, I would invite people to kind of go and explore those. And if you have any questions, certainly to reach out to me. That's it from my side, Karen.
Excellent. Thank you, Steve. And I love your storyboard tool. I think it's really neat. It's actually something that I've suggested a client that I'm working with. We strive to get to. I'm not techie. I said I can get you some data and stuff, but let's see if we can get somebody to build that, because it's really cool. You just pick from the drop down and it kind of comes back to who you are and just brings forward what it applies to you, instead of all these things that you're clicking and going, oh, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. So I really love the tool.
Good, excellent, great to hear.
Excellent. Thanks. Thank you. Mr. Mark.
Hi, I hope everyone can hear me okay.
Yeah.
Mark Tierney with the COA, or the Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, you know, would be the full name. So COA has a bunch of different programs. I'm not going to, I guess, go into the details of all of them, but really we have a loan program and we have some, I guess, grant programming and some what we call provisionally repayable programming for higher risk innovation projects.
Okay.
So most of our loans are interest-free. Most of our programming is interest-free unsecured loans to business. We also have programs right now related to COVID mitigation. And so if anyone's, you know, needs funding related to COVID mitigation, they can definitely give us a call, because there's a whole suite of programs. I'm not going to be here all day going through all of them probably, but you can reach out. And the other thing we do is we fund community infrastructure and community economic assets. But I'll stick to our business programming. So our primary focuses right now are really around oceans, technology, tourism. I'm just looking who's in the room. Immigration is a big focus right now, and skills enhancement. So those are sort of the big areas probably most applicable to people on the call.
Okay.
And what I would say is, like, financing is not a linear sort of thing. And there's lots of different avenues and different options. So what I tell people is, you know, if you're looking for financing, just pick up the phone or pop me an email, and we can have basically a discussion about your specific needs. And you know, I work with Steve and Peter and Sheila and, you know, all the other presenters. So, you know, if you don't know where to go, I would say, you know, just pick up the phone and give me a call, and we can work with you to get you the right financing.
Okay. Excellent.
So there are lots of options, so don't be shy. And
I haven't gone through all the chat, but I assume, Mark, you put your contact info in chat for us.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing I would say is reach out early. That's my, you know, first piece of advice. Like, if you think you're going to need financing or help, reach out early. And so a lot of solutions we have are financing. The financing is really about helping you solve another problem, whether that be HR, access to equipment, access to technology, access to, you know, we're providing financing to help you access something. So, you know, we can have a discussion about what your needs are and try to point you in the right direction.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So Renee, you're up next.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, I hear a dog barking.
Yeah, that's in my neighborhood. I gotta close a window.
I'm Renee Wheeler, Senior Account Manager for BDC, Business Development Bank of Canada, and I cover a very large territory. There used to be a team of 6 or 7 of us here, and now it's 2. And I deal with all the small and growing businesses that are out there, from Port aux Basques, Stephenville, right up the coast, and Labrador. So I'm everywhere in between. So BDC, if you don't know already, we are term lending. We don't do grants. We don't do lines of credit. We're not a traditional charter bank by any means. We are term lending only. We do equipment financing, realty financing, working capital. I'm going to say from about $101,000 to millions of dollars. I say 101,000 because we have a program that is online financing, completely online, up to $100,000. That anyone can avail of through the BDC website, but you have to be in business already for the past year or 2. So that's an option. And then if online financing, if you need any more than that, then you would contact me and we would do the standard application for financing. We also do startups, a little bit trickier. Startups are, everything we have is based on risk, more or less. So a startup is risky. Our interest rates reflect the risk on any business. We're very flexible with our repayment terms. Our interest rates are a little bit higher than a traditional chartered bank, but we're very competitive as well, depending on the risk. So depending on the industry that you're in and what your financial statements say. And with regards to a startup, we do look for a 20% investment into the project from the get-go. We also do advisory services. It's a fee for service, where we connect with a network of consultants across Canada, which is the beauty of this virtual world we live in right now. We can tailor the consultant to the industry, and each advisory service is tailored to the actual business owner, so that the business at the end of the day grows in the right direction, and you see it going where you want to see it going. So our advisory services are in financial management, which we've had wonderful success. We've just added online selling, which we've had wonderful success, especially through the NL Tech Fund, where they're paying for it. And in our virtual world, online selling is where things are going. Strategic planning, HR, we have a range of advisory services, but it is a fee for service, and we do offer financing for that as well. Usually those are never turned down because we want to see businesses grow, and that's the way we see them grow the most. We have many strategies. We deal, there's women entrepreneur strategies where there's Indigenous loans, there's clean tech loans, the Black Initiative, where there's some perks to the financing, whether it be no processing fees or lower interest rates or whatnot. But that's it in a nutshell. If you want to chat about a startup or an existing business, just give me a call. I've put my contact information in the chat box. The BDC online is very generic. It's for across Canada, so I don't, if you drill down, you might find me, but I think the main number on that website is through Montreal, and then you would chat to someone who will get me at the end of the day. Or you can email me, which is how I'm working these days. But yeah, that's about us. That's it in a nutshell.
Excellent. Thank you, Renee. All right, Toby and Phyllis, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Toby Biggin. I'm the Executive Director with CBDC Humber in Cornerbrook. We are a Community Business Development Corporation. Phyllis is our Senior Development Officer, so we're tag teaming. But I will probably do the talking and she will do the answering of questions.
Sounds good to me.
So, I did a presentation, but I know we're running short of time, so we will I've forwarded that to Carol and Allison. If
Excellent.
they deem it appropriate, they can certainly share it. It's more information than anyone needs at this point in time. So we are one of 15 CBDCs in Newfoundland. Our area covers Grossmorn, White Bay, Bay of Islands South and North, and Corner Brook. We provide financing to pretty much any type of business, as long as there is revenues being generated. And something a lot of people don't know is we can also provide funding to municipalities and local service districts as well if they are working on projects and they have the revenues. So that is an area we're promoting. Our, like Mark, we suggest that you reach out to us early. We have a couple of programs that may help in the initial stages before any business is formed. One of them being the consultant advisory program, which can help with the development of a business plan. And we also have the self-employment assistance program in conjunction with INLO. Therefore, people who are looking at starting their own business may be eligible for that program through the provincial government to help them grow their business in the first year and not have to take a revenue from it. So for more information on those, they are also in the presentations. We offer, as I said, loans to pretty much any bit industry. We also partner with the BDC and provincial and federal governments. We have a cap of 150,000 typically. There are opportunities for us to go over that amount, but we do provide smaller financing, and we love startups, and a lot of our financing goes to those businesses, so we enjoy getting referrals for those. Our interest rates vary. We have a variable interest rate, and right now they are running between 5.75 and 8.75%. And that depends on the loan assessment, the term that we look at for the loan, the risk associated and the security that is being provided. One of the benefits I think we have that is really good, particularly for startup, is we can customize payments for our loans. So if there's a period we need interest-only payments, we can do that in the beginning. Also throughout your loan cycle, if there's a seasonality to your business, we can look at interest-only payments and have bigger payments throughout the busy periods of your business. So we try to structure it to work with your business to ensure that there's always a cash flow and that you're not in financial difficulty throughout the year. And with that, we can also offer a deferment should something happen and you need to look at a time, a period when you can't make a payment. So we strive on working with our customers, our clients, to ensure that they have the best situations to help them be successful. We can also look at restructuring your loan within the term of the loan as well. So if you your business changes and you want to increase your payments or need to decrease, we can always look at those things. There's nothing really set that prevents us from working within the term of the existing loan. And I guess for us, that's pretty much it. We can go into all the different loans. One thing though is we do offer the Kickstart and Drive loans, which is loans geared towards younger adults under the age of 35. It's a maximum amount of $10,000, so it's really good for youth who are looking at starting up and need a little bit of working capital, either to purchase equipment or to get them operational in the first year or so of operations. So there's just a few programs that we have there. First-time entrepreneurs, we look at, Indigenous, there's no sector that we are limited from supporting.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Toby. Libby.
Okay, can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Great,
All good.
okay. So I work with MyTax. I'm Director of Business Development for Newfoundland and Labrador. There's one other colleague I have here. His name is Niraj Shukla, so I'll just mention his name in case any of you have come across him. So when you're thinking MyTax, we're a funder, we're a national not-for-profit. If you're thinking about MyTax funding, so you should have two words in mind. One is research. So we will co-fund research-based projects you need done. That could be in any area, looking at new markets. It could be in maybe chemistry related. It could be basically anything related to your business that you want to look into. The other word for us is innovation. So MyTax is getting more into the innovation space as well for funding, which is awesome. Innovation is very broad, as we know. So if you're looking at maybe you need a prototype done, you're looking at some sort of strategic alliance, some sort of new direction with your product, or I guess a pivot, MyTax can help. The other thing I want to put on the radar for today is we have a small business offer on right now as part of the pandemic and economic recovery. So if you are eligible, it's $37.50 from the company. MyTax puts in just over $11,000, and we have a $15,000 grant for you. To do MyTax, you have to be associated. If you have a student venture, you have to be linked to an incubator. So I know we're working to make sure Navigate Ventures are eligible to do MyTax. But if not, we can also sort of link you into the Memorial Center for Entrepreneurship here. The only other thing I want to mention is that we have an incubator exchange program. So it sounds like we're going to be able to do crazy things again, like get on airplanes and go to places. If you're based at Navigate, or if you're at Center for Entrepreneurship here in St. John's, you can do an exchange for 2 weeks. MyTax will pay for you to go down there. It could be to the US, it could be Europe, anywhere where you need to go to maybe investigate a new customer, a new alliance, something related to your business. I think we provide up to $5,000 towards expenses to do that. I'm going to put my contact info in there, and I'm going to go back on mute.
Excellent. Thank you, Libby. All right.
Carol, I think I dialed in old school. Sorry about that.
No problem, Peter. There you go. You're up next then.
Okay, sorry about that. It's
That's okay.
been one of those mornings. Anyway, hi everyone. I recognize most of the faces here actually. My name is Peter Howell, and I represent NRC IRAP, which is the Industrial Research Assistance Program. And I'm what's called a client engagement advisor. So really, I'm the what I consider to be the front door of the IRAP program. And the IRAP program is fundamentally a innovation support program. We work with companies that are doing technology development, research and development type activities. And we are first and foremost an advisory program. So we have a network of industrial technology advisors across the country. And these are all people who have very diverse skill sets and backgrounds. Most of them have a strong technical background, who have typically worked in industry. And so, you know, if you give me an area of technology development, I can probably find you, you know, an ITA who is an expert in that particular area. And so, you know, from an advisory perspective, we bring these people in to meet with and work with clients to help them address and solve, you know, technical research and development problems. We also have support through a funding program. So it's a contribution program. So, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I'll go get an IRAP grant. We're actually not a granting program. We're a contribution program. So what that means, and sort of the differentiator, is we expect you to, as a client, we expect you to do a agreed upon body of work. And once you've done that body of work, you invoice us and we pay our share of it. So as opposed to giving you a blank check and saying, you know, go off and do some research and development and hope for the best. So basically, you have to be able to deliver on what you are saying that you're going to do from a research perspective. That's, I mean, in the very, very high level, that's sort of the fundamentals of the program. We also actually right now have a youth program. I'll make a plug for that as well, where we can actually fund a salary for a youth. And again, the company has to be doing an element of research and development, but the youth that you can hire through our youth program does not necessarily need to be a technical hire. It could be a business or other hire. The big caveat is they have to be under 30, graduate from a technical program, and the company needs to be doing, you know, something that falls within the research and development realm. And again, if you've got any clients that you think would be a good fit for our programming, by all means, send them along to me and I'd be more than happy to chat with them.
Excellent, thank you. And Peter, if you can make sure that you've got your contact info in the chat, that'd be awesome.
I will do that right now, Carol.
Excellent, thanks. Scott, you want to jump in and then we'll go back to Carla.
I can do that.
Thank you.
We all good, Carol?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, I'll be super quick with this. Carol, thanks again. So I'm Scott Andrews. I'm with Futurepreneur Canada. What is Futurepreneur Canada? We are a national nonprofit that focuses on youth-based business startups. So we only deal with young entrepreneurs and we only deal with startups. I'm just going to put that out there right away. Our definition of youth are those in the 18 to 39 age range. So if you know somebody in Newfoundland and Labrador who's thinking about starting a business or has recently started a business and has been operating in less than 1 year on a full-time basis, Futurepreneur still might be able to help. And we provide small startup loans to those individuals looking at launching a business. We can do up to $20,000. And we have a national partnership with Renee and the BDC. So the BDC can 2-for-1 match our offering. So if a young entrepreneur is eligible for $20,000, the BDC can loan another $40,000. So we can actually do up to $60,000 towards the startup of a young entrepreneur starting off. I won't bore you with the details with the terms and conditions and stuff like that, but we pair all of our loans with mentor for the first 2 years. So that's our value add. So you get financing plus mentorship with us. And I just did a quick scan of the call here, and we have 2 of our amazing mentors on this call. Mark Tierney is a mentor with us, and Carla May is a mentor with us. So if a young entrepreneur is looking at getting some startup funding, they can be paired up with somebody like Mark and Carla for 2 years to get some extra advice and stuff like that. And we also have a lot of free business resources for those that are outside of our age range. So if you're not in our 18 to 39 age range, you can certainly take advantage of all of our resources that we have on our website. We do have a couple of other programs outside of that core program. We have a program for not-for-profit social enterprises, for side hustle programs. We have a program for young Indigenous entrepreneurs, and we just launched a program for young Black entrepreneurs. And that's pretty well Futurepreneur Canada in a nutshell.
Excellent, thank you.
Thanks.
Arlene, I'm going to jump to you next.
Thank you, Carol, and thanks for organizing and inviting me to this. I will try and be super quick. I know we're running out of time. So just a brief overview, I work with Olney Lake Development Group, and I'm the Business Development Officer. So we deal only with Indigenous people. If you're First Nation, you need a status card, or if you're Métis, you're Innu or Inuit, you need your Nunatsiavut or Nunatuavut card. So we do loans up to $250,000. Our interest rates vary. Every client do need a viable business plan and 10% equity into the deal. We can also do a non-repayable contribution, is not a grant, just like NRC was speaking about earlier. It's a non-repayable contribution, and it contributes to the equity in the project. So we can do, everyone starts at 0, and we can do up to 40% of the project through that. There's a lot of rules and conditions and requirements around that, so it's not just any Indigenous person gets all this free money, which most people think that we do, but we don't. We also have a business service officer on staff, Ashley Pomeroy, who can help Indigenous people get their business idea off the ground or have some added support if they need it. And we also offer some funding for business support, whether you need a business plan, you need a certified business valuation, or you need specialized training like accounting for your business, just to make your business better. We can offer that as well. And most of that is non-repayable. We can do from 75% to 90% of that non-repayable. So our first point of contact is Angelina McMullen, who sits in our Truro office. And so she would be the first contact. Call her, she would get the ball rolling and help our Indigenous entrepreneurs move forward. And then it will come to me as a lender, and I cover the entire province of Newfoundland.
Excellent.
So that's a nutshell.
Thank you, Arlene. Awesome. We did have Sharon was going to jump in with us today. She's not able to join. She's with the NLWIC, which is the Workforce Innovation Center. They do research projects. So probably something interested if you are looking at doing any kind of research. They're really focused on barriers to employment. So if your organization is looking to assist folks in joining the workforce, then that may be somebody that you want to connect with. And I know Allison's got Sharon's information, so we can include that in our follow-up. Carla is back. You want to jump in now, Carla, if you can? It was funny, just as I came to you, I saw you take your earbuds out, so I knew something had happened.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I don't know what happened to my video.
That's okay.
Sorry. So, Carla May, I work with ENLO, which is Newfoundland and Labrador Organization of Women Entrepreneurs. I am a business startup advisor. I'm based on the West Coast and here in Corner Brook. We have advisors, startup and growth advisors right across the province, all happy to assist women who want to either start or grow their business. We provide advisory services, training. We have a, sorry, totally lost what I was, my entire train of thought. We have mastermind groups, training, networking opportunities. Like the CBDC, we also facilitate the self-employment assistance program for the Immigration, Population Growth and Skills Department of the provincial government. So we're happy to assist you with that. That is certainly one of those programs that, as Toby and Mark have both alluded, if you want to start a business, reach out and look for support and advice as soon as possible, because once you've started your business, you're no longer eligible for a lot of programs. So that's pretty much it for me. We are happy to have a conversation with any woman who is at any stage or in your business. I have my contact information in the chat, and I look forward to hearing from anybody who wants to start a business. Thanks, Carol.
Excellent. Thank you, Carla. So we were going to have a bit of a conversation here, but I didn't want to cut anyone off on all the programs and great information that you're giving. But I will throw out to those that just spoke, our presenters. We've heard twice now, start early. What else would you recommend as a tip? And anyone could jump in.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Okay.
There's a lot out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, Sheila, you and I have talked about business plans in the past. So is that something that's needed for, I think for a lot of you, I would assume you probably need some business plans and some formal documentation, a lot of nods and heads there.
For startups, especially.
We have to assess your business plan. So if you're coming to us for funding, like you can send in a draft and we can guide and direct you, but we can't actually help you write the business plan because we may end up assessing it. But other than that, yeah, we can guide and direct. But I always recommend, and I have for years, if you are going to plan on starting your own business and operating your own business, you're better off writing the plan yourself with help and guidance and direction. Right, because you're the one that's going to be operating the business. And another thing to keep in mind with a business plan, it's a working document. It's not carved in stone. So keep that in mind as well when you're preparing your business plans.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Lots of nods from all the presenters here. I think, Phyllis, you're just trying to jump in, but I got you muted because there was something in your background here. Hang on. Okay, jump in, Phyllis.
I was just thinking maybe the individual themselves should do some market research as well. You know, what's unique about the business, whether competition exists in the area they're trying to start this business. Most lenders kind of look at those things. It's a very competitive industry. We probably wouldn't get involved in it if there's especially a potential risk against other similar type operations. So for sure, make sure you do your market research.
Excellent.
Also, I know I haven't checked lately, but bdc.ca always had a template for a business plan there, so you can actually go in and you know, what Phyllis was saying, the competition is there, the market is there, so it's a template to follow for a business plan that the client would complete themselves. I'm sure that everyone else who would require, we only require it for startups, but everyone else who would require it, the financials at the end of it are key. So your projections and that sort of thing are very much important on a go forward.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And I think too, the other things to be aware of is there's training out there for that too, right? I know Enlo puts off workshops to help people through some of those things. Scott's group Futurepreneur, and I always love the fact that I can't get money from him because I'm too old, but I can take his training because there's no age limit. So, you know, there's stuff out there as well. And I would assume probably Phyllis and Toby as well, that if people did need a bit of help and guidance through your consultant advisory services, they could hire somebody to help them a little bit.
You're right with that, Carol. Yeah, the CAS program, the Consulting Advisory Services, is a very attractive program for someone even looking at starting putting a business plan together. Provides financing up to $5,000 for that purpose. And even with regards to training opportunities, we actually have allocated up to $2,000 for entrepreneur, what we call entrepreneurial training funds, for someone wanting to avail and upgrade more or less their business skills. You know, it can't be specific relative to an industry, but more or less business skills like bookkeeping, things of that nature that you would want to take advantage of.
Okay.
I guess too, the other thing to point out, like, a business plan is a bit of a loaded term, I guess, in some respects. Like, so a lot of people think of business plan, they think of this 100-page document with reams and reams of financial information. And that's really not what we're talking about now when we talk about a business plan. Like, so depending on where you're looking for funding, you know, a business plan can be as little as 5 or 6 pages and a cash flow statement.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I wouldn't do a business plan necessarily on spec. I'd figure out sort of where you're going to look for funding, and, you know, you're going to really need to cater that plan for that funding to some extent. Now, there's some pretty common things, like really everyone's going to want to know what your product is and how you're going to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So what value did it provide and how are you going to get it into the hands of customers is another way to think about it. And then almost everyone's going to ask for a cash flow statement.
Mm-hmm.
I want to reiterate what Mark said. From our perspective these days, that's what we have to see. Every client that is an IRAP client has to have what we call a plan for growth. And as Mark says, it's not reams and reams of pages. It's, you know, a lot of cases the plan is a 2-page kind of summary, but it's what you're going to sell, how you're going to sell it, how you're going to grow the business, how you're going to scale your business, how are you going to interact and engage with customers, what's your revenue model going to look like, and what your cash flows look like, and can you finance what you've got planned, and how are you going to finance it. And the other point too is that who have you been talking to and which agencies have you engaged with, and you know, have you talked to investors, and how are you going to finance what you're projecting here.
Okay, excellent. Arlene?
I'd also add to that too, once they're doing that plan, and I feel the same way. We require the same, is that not necessarily a 100-page business plan, but you know, the nuts and bolts of it. But I'd also encourage the entrepreneurs to identify their strengths that they can add to the business and what will help them run this business, but also identify the weakness, because by identifying the weakness is an opportunity for us and most people as lenders to identify that and provide some funding to help them enhance that skill that they require to enhance their weakness. So we actually take that weakness away, right? So don't be afraid to identify a weakness. What my point is, I guess.
I like that, because I know when I started my business, I knew how to do my job, but I didn't know how to run a business. I had no training in running a business. I just knew how to do my work. So when I met with Carla, I'm like, what is this you speak of? And she was okay, you need this, and this is what you need to do next. And then it was, you need to connect with people. And, you know, so I like that, Arlene, because I think that's a big thing. So asking for help and then looking to remove those barriers or those weaknesses, I really like that. Steve, you got your hand raised. You want to jump in?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add, particularly with federal government funding, you want to make sure that you're addressing what's called the benefits to Canada, because you got to remember it's the investors or the taxpayers. So you got to be able to really outline some good kind of items in terms of what benefit you're bringing to Canada. Are you creating jobs? Are you creating intellectual property? Are you developing innovation? Things of that nature. It almost seems like window dressing, but it's actually a very important part of the assessment. So make sure that you're putting some kind of work into that, not just kind of giving it short shrift.
Okay, excellent. All right, so I was going to put us into breakouts, but as I said, I didn't want to shorten the great information that's being presented. So we do have a little bit of time. I'm going to throw it to the entrepreneurs that are on the call. If there's any questions, you can raise your hand or type in chat, and we'll try and get someone to answer. Or just open up your mic and shout out. Connie.
Steve, what did you mean by intellectual property? I'm a content writer, so are you thinking I could talk a bit more? I don't have a business plan. I'm trying to wrap my head around one because I'm already in business. So I kind of backing up a little bit because I got too busy to write plan. Which was a good thing, I guess. So intellectual property would be the content I create, the stories I write for my clients, that kind of thing, I'm thinking.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of times it would be, a lot of times people think of intellectual property as patents and things of that nature, but some of those things, your own content and things of that nature would be intellectual property. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, that's certainly something that I run into in my organization, that if I do a facilitation for someone, what we generate in the session belongs to the client, but my processes and my, all those pieces are mine, right? So they belong to me. I don't hand those over to
the drafts belong to you, all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure about photographs. Do you know, Steve, who owns? I take a photograph, I provide it to my client, but I don't sell it. So I let them use it on their website, but I retain the rights. Is that still considered intellectual?
Correct, yeah. If you do have some of these deeper questions, there's actually an excellent organization called the Canada Intellectual Property Office, CIPO. There's a lady in Halifax, Catherine Vardy, and I can certainly, if you want to reach out to me, I can certainly get you in contact with her. She's actually from Newfoundland, so she has great connections here. But she's a wealth of information on intellectual property, trademarks, and all these different types of things that you may want to look into relative to that.
Yeah.
Real subject matter expert for that, and the service is free. So the great thing with that is you don't have to pay anything for that.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
So certainly feel free to reach out, and I'll make that connection for sure.
Yeah, the other thing, Connie, is Navigate ran a session on intellectual property, and it's recorded on their website. It was a great session. Came out of MUN in St. John's. I think we talked about CIPO on that as well. Sharon, I saw you raised your hand, but Libby's got her hand up as well. So I'm gonna go Libby and then Sharon.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I wanted to mention earlier, and I think this applies to everyone, and I don't mean to give a shameless plug for the Genesis Center, but the Genesis Center incubator here runs a program called Evolution, and it's an 8-week training. It's based on lean methodologies, and I mean, I've been in this entrepreneurship space for a while before I joined MyTax, but by the time you start that program and by the time you're finished, you really they'll take you through everything. You'll have a really good idea about future markets, customers. They'll introduce you to all kinds of mentors as well and funding agencies. So I just mentioned it. I don't know if that programming is offered through Navigate. I guess it's all virtual these days, but I'm just a big fan of it. And I've seen a lot of companies come through there where you can kind of keep your day job, and then their sessions, I think, are held once a week. So I just wanted to mention that. Yeah, so that's it for me. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, Libby. Sharon and then Janice.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I know I look like I'm in California, Pasadena, Newfoundland, though. Thank you, Carol and Allison, for having this morning. Great speakers, a lot of great information. One of the things that always come up for me in my business, I'm owner-operator of Siva Meditation, is the marketing and advertising funding, like looking for money to because that's the most expensive part of what I do, and it's the part that I don't like either too. I don't like doing it. But myself and another colleague who's also on the line, Carmelina Morgan with Karma Yoga, we've been doing some joint things together, and we're trying to get this marketing out there for what we offer. But we want to do it. We'd love to have some funding. We'd love to have some direction. So what can you offer in regards to that? Anybody want to? I'm trying to see who talked to marketing here. Anybody want to? Sheila Coleman, maybe, I don't know.
Our marketing program, it has to be in I don't know if I mentioned this earlier or not, but for our marketing program, it has to be in one of our strategic sectors. which is also identified under the link that I provided with you. And our strategic sectors are agriculture, tourism, oil and gas, forestry, and there's a few others listed there as well. If you're not in one of those strategic sectors and you have a extremely strong link to one of them, we can consider it.
Phyllis, would that fall under your entrepreneur business training?
What is it?
Marketing, like getting some help with marketing?
No, it wouldn't.
Okay.
No.
Like, I think it's more the skills,
Most of these,
not just the money to buy an ad.
Yeah.
Like it's the skill development in marketing, not the purchasing and marketing.
If the individual is trying to get maybe a website set up, like training on to kind of set it up and to take care of it ongoing by themselves, it may fall under ETF.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've both been pretty good with our websites and marketing it that way, but it's like trying to get the message out there on a broader range. And most of the funding and the grants that you're speaking of are innovative and for different sectors, but not falling into the meditation yoga, which is mental health and mindfulness, right? So that's the sector that we need, that we'd love to have some, free advertising.
so maybe I can point you in a couple directions. So once you sort of know what message you want to get out there, if you want to use social media, like say Facebook, reach out to Facebook. If you want to use Instagram, reach out. Well, I guess it's still Facebook. If you want to, use Twitter, reach out to Twitter. If you want to create an e-commerce site, reach out to, a couple of the, I guess, providers. And most of the time, they will give you some free credits and free training. And some of the training is one-on-one with these platforms now. But you sort of need to know what your message is and where you want to place it, because you're obviously not going to take training on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You're not going to. But almost all those platforms, they will provide free training, a lot of it one-on-one, and free ad credits, so to speak, or ads to get you started. And it can be in the hundreds of dollars depending on the size of your current business.
Excellent, thank you, Mark. Janice.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I am a recently new entrepreneur since October 1st, but when it comes to funding, a bit old hat in the ENGO not-for-profit sector for sure. So just a comment, first of all, and I want to say this to my fellow entrepreneurs, I cannot emphasize how important it is to talk to the people that are here today first before you put pen to paper or fingers to keyboards, to make sure your idea or your project or whatever it is you want to do with the anticipated funding is going to fit the program criteria. That is key, and that's what we always did when I worked with the World Wildlife Fund. You always talked to the entities where you wanted to get the money first before you wasted your time, because your time is more valuable than anything else as an entrepreneur. I'm learning. The other thing I wanted to ask, and coming from the green conservation environment background, climate change, climate crisis is huge these days, and there is a big push now, both from the federal government in particular, for industries to pivot. So I didn't hear anything today about help for industries such as the transportation industry, which is 22% of greenhouse gas emitters, which I am, to help small businesses with expensive technology coming down the pipe to help us pivot and adapt. Some feedback here.
There's got some feedback, yep.
And right now it's not even money, because to be honest with you, Ford is coming out next year with the first electric cargo van, and it's only going to be good for about 200 miles. And when you want to look at stuff province-wide, that's not going to do much good for you. So I'm more interested too as well, besides the funding and helping you pivot. And I think maybe NRC could probably help me there, is to find out, well, what strategies or what's coming down the pipe that's going to make the technologies available for small local couriers, to adapt to that. Because my mind is probably way ahead of what the technology is right now. And it's a no-brainer. This is where we got to go. And so I really am really eager to have those conversations to figure out where's the technology, how's it going to help us local couriers down the road.
I think Steve's going to jump in there for you.
Yeah, there's a good program, or it's not even a program. It's called the Clean Growth Hub. So this is a kind of a hub of not only just ISA, but Natural Resources Canada as well. So if you go to the Clean Growth Hub, you can actually register for their newsletter. And what they're trying to do too is kind of keeping an eye on what are the new programs that are coming out all across the federal government that is within this clean tech environmental perspective, right? So you can kind of do that, get some information there. As well, you can actually see if you can register to become a Clean Growth Hub client. Maybe more relative to more very specific clean tech companies per se, but certainly worth a try just to, once again, see if there's anyone there that can kind of help navigate and pathfind from that clean tech environmental perspective.
Okay, that's interesting. All right. And just a couple other comments.
Certainly.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, once again, if you need any further information, just certainly reach out and I'll provide.
Okay, perfect. And I'm just keeping my eye on Budget 2021 federally, because if anybody hasn't read that from cover to cover, there's supposed to be financing there for Canada Small Business Financing Program. And another one of interest is they're adding more money to the Women Entrepreneurship Strategy, which is under the Women's Entrepreneurship Ecosystem too as well. So there's some things coming down the pipe with the federal budget as well. Keep an eye on.
Excellent, thank you, Janice. And I think that's a good
There's a lot of moving parts. Oh, sorry, Carol, but there's a lot of moving parts, and I would sort of suggest you keep in touch with Steve because he keeps his hand on the pulse of new program.
Yeah, well, I really like the fact that Steve offered how to navigate through this system. So, you know, that's such an important piece that, you know, to Janice's point, it takes us time to do that, and that's time is our money, you know, as an entrepreneur. So if there's ways to shorten some of that, then that's great. So in speaking of time, we're just kind of getting towards the end of the session. So Allison's putting a bunch of things up in chat again. I do want to highlight that we've got 2 more coffee breaks scheduled. We know summer is not necessarily a time that everyone wants to get together, so we're going to kind of bookend summer. We're going to do our next one fairly quick on July 8th. It's going to be very informal, but it's going to be targeted to the tourism industry. And our anticipation of what we'd like to do is have operators join us from your site with a camera, like an iPhone or iPad, or even carry your laptop around and take us on a little mini tour of your place. Tell us who you are, where you are, and just actually show us where those places are. So that's going to be our July event. So anyone that's in that space, or if you, for those of you on the call that are providers, if you know of clients in that space, we'd ask that you help get the word out for that. And we're just going to basically throw a ball up and down the coast around the province. So it's going to be a very kind of informal bit of fun as we go around. And then we're going to book in at the end. We're going to talk about July or August 31st. September tends to be that back to routine, back to school, back to reality. We're going to do a back to business. What's it going to look like at the end of August? What's it going to be to be back to business? We know that vaccination rates as they are, and country opening up and going to the South Coast beaches and Burgeo and all that stuff. What's business going to look like when we get to that time frame? So we'd really love to have that conversation, and we're going to be looking at a way to perhaps provide some guidance and support and talk to entrepreneurs about what is it you're doing. Maybe curbside pickup is going to continue forever and a day. We don't know, right? So we want to have a bit of a conversation just at the very end of the summer, August 31st. So those 2 events are open for registration right now. And yes, Arlene, we're looking at a way to kind of help our tourism sector showcase who they are and get a bit of traction going for the early summer. Also, if you have an event that you feel would be interest to this community, please tag Navigate. Allison is great for sharing all the events of all of us entrepreneurs and what we're doing. There's also a couple other things. There's Humber Valley Entrepreneurs, there's Open Deer Lake, there's a couple Facebook pages if you want to get some of your stuff into there. Again, it's all entrepreneurs kind of connecting with one another. And as always, if you haven't put your contact information in chat, please do, and stay connected with us. Allison, I'm going to throw to you to wrap up the last couple things here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. It wasn't certain. It seemed like my mic wasn't working earlier as well. The mic seemed to be cursed here today.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to mention a few things. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who came out today, and again, taking time out of your busy day. You know, like I said, a lot of people, it's last day of school, you got little ones to pick up, and it's a sunny day. Thank you so much to all the presenters. I know time was short, but if you have any additional information that you want to send me, we're going to share all of that out, both to participants and through our next newsletter. And we're going to be doing some, we do an entrepreneur spotlight every month. But we're also going to start doing funder/support org spotlights as well. So I'll be reaching out to everyone to ask for information on that, so we can help people know a little more about who everyone is. Also wanted to mention that on the Navigate website, there's a section called our ecosystem. And in that section, we have a business directory where we can showcase any local entrepreneurs. And we also have an ecosystem map where all of the funders who were here today are showcased as well. It looks like a subway map. If you click on the subway stop, you get a link to each of the websites, and you can go find out more. So if you missed some of the information and you're wondering how to get to those programs quickly, please go through that those links on the website. And also for business plans and whatnot, we have links as well under our business tools section. I usually refer our clients to either the BDC or to the Futurepreneur business plan writer templates. And we also have a lean startup program through Navigate that can help you with the early stages. So you know, when everyone was talking about keeping it short and sweet, but knowing your numbers and your research and everything ahead of time, we can help with that as well. So by all means, reach out, and then we'll help connect you with the various funders and agencies that can help you. And a big thank you again to Carol, as always, for being a fantastic facilitator. And we look forward to seeing everyone soon, and hope everyone has a very wonderful summer.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. I just echo the comments. When we started the discussion, Allison and I come up with all these crazy ideas, by the way. We get together and plan what these events are going to be. And when we actually started doing the list, it was phenomenal to see how many presenters we were able to draw on. And we're so grateful for all of you for agreeing to be part of this with us. And getting your messaging out. I know Carla had to pop off to something else, but I know she was at a meeting with Allison not long ago and said, there's still people that don't know that I'm out here. And so these sessions are great to be able to let people know who's there to help us as entrepreneurs. So thank you so much for being part of this. We hit our highest registration, 47 this time. So thank you, everyone. I think our first session when we started in our pilot, we may have had 5. So, so we've certainly grown in the ecosystem. So we're really, really thankful for that. And we couldn't do it without the support of our supporters, and we couldn't do it without the support of the entrepreneurs joining us and taking time out of your businesses to do that. So as always, the recording will be available later. We will send up the follow-up. One last plug, if you haven't yet put your information in chat, please do so.
Absolutely, and follow. Please sign up for the newsletter as well. That way, you'll get updates on all the upcoming events, and you'll get video links and any other information that might be useful. New funding programs that come out, we tend to send that out as quickly as possible. And please do take a moment to answer the feedback forms at the end of the session. Your feedback helps us to better help you and meet your needs, and also to continue to secure funding to offer events like this.
Absolutely. Excellent. Enjoy the rest of the sunny day, folks. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot, and enjoy your summer, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You know.